Alright, welcome back to another so this is a Friday Friday upload. 7 a.m. every morning. Every 7 a.m. every Friday morning. Okay. And probably will only be uploading 1 or 2 episodes per week at this point, but once again, it's gonna be mostly focused on digital information stuff, but not information in this case. This one's gonna be a lot more fun. And I'm glad to say that, because the past episode was like everything was very kind of like somber, and I was not happy. I wasn't happy because I said, fuck, like all this paperwork to do, and all these like applications and all these like programs and stuff. And this is going to be a little bit. It's definitely going to be more upbeat because I want to talk about podcasts and radio and media and kind of fun stuff before we end this production session. It's gonna be the last thing we produce that's gonna be related to for the next month or so. You won't see any difference, obviously, because for those who are listening, right, you guys won't see a difference because specifically I'm already uploading these like way ahead, like months ahead. So as a result, you won't be able to tell because of the batch production process. But for me, I'm gonna stop recording for probably a month, I think, while I focus on more important matters that are kind of boring. So in this case, this episode is focused on the kind of like the fun stuff, right? So I have several tabs here open, and this is a favorite of mine, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of like a recent thing. I feel better already just talking about this. So growing up in the city that I was in, it used to be Darren and Erin in the morning, 98.1, Toronto's best music mix, CHFI. And of course, Erin, if you know, these are talk show hosts, all right, on one of the major radio broadcasting platforms in our city. I remember, like 90s, 2000, 2010s, like, and then there was a very, heartfelt, parting, farewell, because Erin, she's at that time of her retirement or whatever, she was it's like a lifelong career for her, right? And her not partner, it was like marriage or a relationship, but like her like work colleague, partner for like maybe decades. I'm not sure how long Darren and Erin were talking together on the radio, but it seemed like they were working together for decades. And anyways, there was a really heartfelt kind of, I remember specifically I was inside the car, and she was crying, right? So she's like, thank you for just listening to me every day and day, or making things, through the laughter, the joy, the good times, the bad. When I had my kid and my third kid and we were talking about it on the radio, and this whole city was listening, right? People before they go to work, after they come back from work, whatever. And just kind of lightens the mood and everything, right? It lightens the atmosphere, right? If you can't tell, I love that kind of shit, right? Because, regardless of wherever I used to, where I remember one of my key moments, like, not just in the car, but like, like driving to and fro. It was like at Brampton. It's kind of like, I mentioned before that I used to, for a couple of years, drive over to Brampton. I don't drive anymore. I don't drive anymore, unfortunately. But I used to drive over to Brampton, and it's like a different. Again, there's another district up here, like on the west end, northwest end of like our quote unquote GTA. And I used to work for like in the summers for a large manufacturing plant for cars and automobiles. So it was like Chrysler, GM, and yeah, in the morning, right? So it would be a morning drive. Morning drives are the best, man. There's no traffic, as long as you beat the 5 a.m. rush, of course. If you drive at like 4 a.m., just a half hour makes a huge difference. On the highway, 407, 401, it's so nice. And oh God, memories. So that was like 2011, I think. 2011, 2012, and I think 2014, skipped a year. Went back to the same company. They wanted me to go back because I was like reliable and dependent and like trustworthy. something that I think, has kind of gone away now. Trust and respect are earned, not granted, right? That's something that kind of has like, I don't know, there's like no conventional wisdom sticks, I suppose. But the point is, that was very important at the time, and it was a lot of fun. I used to drive over there. At 4 a.m. in the morning, we start our shift, and it's like 5, right? It's like a blue collar job, and it was very nice. It's unionized, and I got paid well and stuff like that. And I covered all my tuition fees and everything like that, so I didn't have to, well, for a while, and at the time, we would listen every single day, there'd be jokes, there'd be stories, there'd be, and it just made not just a morning drive, but also it made, because when I was with the team, right, I was a stamping department and DDH is like door decks. Sorry, I thought something else. Doors, deckers, and hoods, not dicks. It's kind of like the framing of the car, right? And there's all these robotic arms moving around. But when I was in the stamping department, there'd be like a team of like, most of them were boomers, and I'm like part millennial. I'm not exactly. I never fit the mold, anyways. I don't fit any sort of category because like I'm a hybrid, a mix of everything. And I guess that's an anomaly. But I always got along with them. They were really chummy dudes. Just kind of like traditional white Canadians. Like it was like 50, 60 years old. They're near retirement. They're making like 6 figures at that time, making 6 figures. Tell me about it. It's like 2010, they're making 6 figures at a manufacturing plant, like well unionized, better times, right? And we would talk about all sorts of stuff. They tell me their families, pass me jokes, tell me stories about the one guy was like riding a motorcycle, and he'd tell me about all the gigs on it and everything like that. But it was all fun. And every morning, we would listen to, also we turn on the radio. Sometimes it would be like a Virgin radio, and sometimes classic rock. That was my favorite as well. But then one of the other big ones, of course, aside from like 103 or 0.5 or whatever classic rock radio, was also, I got the number wrong, pretty sure, but it was the other one was, of course, 98.1. And of course, it's not Darren and Erin in the morning. So right now, what you see on the top right now, top left, is Pooja and Gurdeep, PNG. And I gotta say, right, I had to kind of let it grow on me a little bit the first time, but I'm gonna say that they do a fantastic. I love listening to Pooja and Gurdeep on the radio as well. It's kind of hit and miss sometimes, though, I will say, because I have it running in my unit right now. Before, of course, I would listen to, I would say I used to listen to it when I was at work, but now I have a radio, because one of my friends, a really good friend, gave me like two radios. I just take it. I don't know what to do with it, but I don't want to toss it out. I don't want to throw it away. I don't know if I'll ever listen to the radio, but I decided to keep one here and one at my aunt's condo. So I have one here now, and then there's another one in storage. And so it turns on. I use it as an alarm, because I hate alarms. I don't really want alarms. It's not just unpleasant for me, it's unpleasant for like my neighbors, right? It's like, who wants to hear an alarm in the morning, like 5 in the morning? It's like this annoying Samsung shit. I'd rather have the radio, right? Because it's different every morning. It's like Pavlov's conditioning, Psych 101. But you don't want to hear the same thing every single day. Eventually, it makes you want to like throw up. Because every morning is different, right? They talk about different topics, it's like different. And so this right here is a PodBean. Sorry, I'm not whispering anymore, but whatever. I don't, this is too much fun to hold myself back. So this PodBean, and you can see that basically Pooja and Gurdeep have their podcasts on a traditional platform. So this is PodBean. It's outdated now. It's not. We're not talking about, this isn't like some kind of iHeartRadio thing on like, it's not a modern day kind of, it's like old. PodBean's pretty old, right? It's like dates back to like 2008 or something like that, pretty sure. And so they have it here, and the episodes go, they're on the radio, and then they get uploaded. I didn't know that for a while. And then so now I do that whenever I'm on the commute, when I'm on the transit, on TDC and whatnot. I just plug into that. I used to play a lot of other things, like the Huberman podcast. I used to play music or whatever, but now I also have a new thing that I like to listen to all the time, because it's much more spontaneous. it's a real conversation. I like real conversations. And yeah, so there you go. The Pooja and Gurdeep show. So you see here, episode 186 is the most recent one. I didn't refresh the page, so it's probably like 188 or something. I'm just gonna read a couple other episodes now. Okay. Mercury and Retroshade, Streaming Infidelity. Boomer asking for our friend. I want a divorce, cutting lettuce. Fun with the Beach Boys, dating profile, red flags, in search of Mitso. Are you a doodler? So they talk about any variety of topics, and it's always like, you know, it's always some kind of twist and funny spin on it. And it's really engaging because they always like bring in guests, right? Like not guests. Sometimes they bring guests, but I'm not talking about celebrities. Like it's a radio. You get to call in, you know, just dial in, and you know, they play these games. You know, it's very interactive, right? Like, you know, people just on their way to work, you know, think of something, shower thoughts and whatnot. They have, you know, again, it's all that creative stuff that, like I said, the past episode was boring as shit because I had to talk about stuff that I'm going to be doing for the next month, and it's going to take me away from my creative pursuits. But this is, you know, this is the fun stuff. This is the stuff that the podcast is my baby kind of thing, you know. So there you go. I guess we stayed talking about this for like 15 minutes. We're just on one tab, but yeah, go ahead and support them. Yeah, I know it's like mine is like very small. There's not a lot of people listening. I don't mean for a lot of people listening to the podcast, but it's like a very personal podcast. It's totally different from something that I don't want it broadcast everywhere. The less people that hear and listen to my podcast, the better, because it's more for like ourselves. But this is different for them, right? So if you can, just go on to like whatever app you use, search it up. Maybe it's on like your own personal. Maybe you listen on like Apple iTunes or whatever. I'm pretty sure they must have it there. So go and support PNG, Pooja and Gurdeep, because they're amazing, as Michael Bublé said in the introduction, and so is Steph. So it's like 3 personalities there, and they do a great job of lightening your day. And you know, like I said, you know, sometimes you kind of wonder, are they going to be able to meet up to like Erin and Darren and, you know, the original hosts, and there were hosts before then and then. But I in my opinion, my honest opinion, they're doing great. So it's hilarious. All right, so that's one thing here. That's kind of lightening things up. We're gonna move on to the next tab here. Just a second. All right, so keeping on in line with the whole, you know, entertainment shtick. So this is rare. I suppose it's supposed to be classified as, what do they call those things? Reactions, right? But I'm not reacting to it. This basically just, I wanted to bring up something that was kind of related to other tabs. I have a few tabs here open on like YouTube, and so it's kind of funny. It's someone I like to follow a lot. Tony Statovci. I'm not sure if I probably butchered that name. Statovci sounds like an Italian name. And this guy is fucking hilarious, and he is a comedian. And I want to play it right now. The whole skit here that he's doing is like, this is the kind of humor that really brings back in the middle of the playground in the 90s. There's a lot of like, what he's doing here is he's trying to mimic, you know, the mannerisms, the behavioral mannerisms and patterns of like a highly autistic kid who is like, you know, way too intelligent in one aspect, but highly deficit in any sort of like social aspect. So I might even put on the headphones for this because it was too funny. So it says the first guy to think of the idea of Google, struggling to explain it, right? And, you know, obviously it's like maybe like, you know, maybe 21 or like maybe late teens, and he's trying to explain, and it's almost brain dead. But anyways, it's hilarious. So it's just a skit, obviously. do that like gay sass walk out and anyways, sorry. I know it's gonna get a little bit offensive, but whatever, you know. Get offended, I don't know. It's just what it's yeah, so again, it says the first guy to think of the idea of Google struggling to explain it. I just played a little bit of it there for you guys. I'm pretty sure the volume wasn't high enough so you can read it, but just go on YouTube and just enter the search words yourselves. It's fucking hilarious, and you know, imagine everything, and then what if you this totally reminds me of the gifted kid, or a specialized class and stuff like that. So anyways, all in good fun. Again, don't go around, like I said, I've been really harsh about this because don't treat people poorly because of that, right? This is just something, if you want, it's this is something else with social media. Like I said, you watch it online, you can't take that into the real world, right? Don't treat people like this in the real world. That's the real world, right? And this is virtual online. You can have your laughs and shits and giggles online, but for the love of God, don't take your 4chan or Twitter shit and start treating people like that in real life, because you can't. That's stupid, okay? Anyways, but I have to put that disclaimer because people are fucking retarded nowadays. They were retarded that back then too, so I don't know what to tell you about that. Alright, don't do that cyberbullying shit and take it into real life. Don't do that, okay? My fucking God. I feel like being a dead horse. But this is funny. It is funny, but don't do that in real life, please, okay? But it's a hilarious skit. And again, follow what Tony Statovci. He never misses. Every single one is on point. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking funny. And I'm gonna read some comments here actually. So I wish there was a centralized place I could search for worldly knowledge. The fucking razzle dazzle. Someone else comments here. Oh, the top ones were hilarious because they point out everything. This is the the stammering, stuttering kid with the 10 times anxiety and existentialism, right? Like I said, the gifted kid, SPEDS, right? Special ed class. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, obviously, right? Intentions matter. I obviously don't mean that in any way. Laugh with, not at. Again, big difference between laughing at and laughing with. This is just Tony's unexplainable idea field. Have you ever wondered? Imagine if we captured that. Not gonna lie, that goes kind of hard. And then yeah, so a lot of people commenting. The YouTube comment section, comment section is always hilarious itself. Yeah, that's also. Anyways, so funny shit. Okay. And now we're gonna end it off with something. We're gonna kind of go full circle now a bit. So we're gonna get a little bit more serious again. All right, so I think that's a wrap, right? So I said there's several other tabs here. I really want to, there's some stuff here that's, again, some more YouTube stuff like this. Because you gotta lighten yourself up a little bit, right? But I can't really cover that. One of it is related to learning, I will say. It has a little bit to do with various platforms. It's like a media platform, but it's like a webinar kind of thing. But I'm not gonna talk too much about that. So over here's the last thing we're gonna cover, and it's come full circle, right? Because like I said, I won't be able to do my creative hobby pursuits for the next month. I think it's making me sad just thinking about it, but yeah, it's important that we get these various, not just one application, it's several applications and programs, and I just gotta get it done. And there's gonna be appointments and meetings and that I don't really want to schedule, but I have to do it. So I guess it was just kind of relevant, just come full circle here and say that this is partly one of those things. We're going to go to I think it's a good way to end it off, since we were laughing the whole this episode is a lot of fun and everything. So just kind of grounding ourselves here a little bit, but basically, yeah, like I said, I won't be able to probably record for a bit, and probably the next episode upload, you probably tell them kind of out of it again, oh, I haven't done the show in a while so I'll be kind of awkward on the recording, so forgive me if I'm a little bit weird because I'm not like comfortable on the mic after like a month-long hiatus. But so over here, right, this is like one of the things we're gonna have to do, but it's like just one component of one application. And so what we do here, this is basically the UHN. We gotta go back and we still need to take another fucking blood test. I hate blood tests, but you gotta go back again. Another urinalysis sample. So I'm just gonna read here a little blurb, right? What we do, what to expect. The diagnostic test center blood collection lab will take samples of your blood and will send them to be tested. The samples will be tested to learn more about your condition and help guide discussion about your diagnosis and treatment. For the record, I don't have any serious conditions. I'm just reading off the page here, okay? So we're good. I will say though, tying into the topic that I had in a previous episode, which was super mundane, super serious, and I had to like, it's like I felt so constrained. In addition to just like humid weather today and me thinking about all this like annoying paperwork I gotta get done, and like reporting, I had to like type up pages and pages again. And scheduling like appointments I don't really want to schedule and stuff like that, but because part of it involves some heavy stuff, right? But then I'm also, I don't know why I got sick again. How is that even possible? It's like one of the worst years in terms of I've had years where I had back-to-back years where I don't get sick, and then this year maybe it's because I'm working the cooler now and I've definitely been overwhelming myself. There's been a lot to handle and a lot of shit on my plate, and I guess I got overwhelmed, and so my immunity and my immune system isn't just, I'm probably not as healthy as I just came out of a difficult time and situation, so maybe that's part of it too. But I've never gotten sick like 4 times in a year. I feel it right now. It's another respiratory infection in my nose. It's like what the fuck, so anyways, that's another reason why I was actually lying on the bed for an hour. I didn't know that I would like take a nap midday. Anyways, so not good. What to expect. If you arrive at the diagnostic test center, blood collection lab check-in, so not a particular good day. Check in with receptionist to check in. You need your government issued ID or WIP card. If you don't have a WIP card, please bring another form. Clinical trial or research requisition if you have one. After you check in, we will give you a number. You can then sit down in the waiting area. While you wait, let's try a different accent. While you wait, we will confirm that your orders are in the electronic patient record. If there are discrepancies, you will be notified. Within reason, we will take the appropriate actions to ensure the orders reflect the nature of your visit. When it is your turn, we will call your number and direct you to a lab cubicle. The technician will ask for your name, date of birth, and possibly your address. We do this to confirm identity, so the proper testing will be done. The technician will check your electronic letters and order and written orders. If you have a requisition, the technician will draw your blood sample. Okay, just wanted to make it a little bit different. So that's it. Lab catalog. What's new? 2024 year review, December 17. Articles. After 40 years, the magic remains for Christine Curcio. So I think that's it. I think that's it. There are a few tabs I can actually close here. Like the Peugeot, the PodBean one for PNG, and then there are things I have to follow up with because and I can also close probably that foreign trade university thing from Hanoi, Vietnam, and so like that's I can get rid of some stuff here, and then let's just I'm gonna wrap this up and say there's probably another episode I want to upload, but and it's gonna be a Monday inventory episode. We have a bunch of mail. It's gonna be the last thing we're gonna record. But I think there's something else I gotta attend in between that right now. So without further ado, thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next one. Okay, so cheers. Hope it was fun. I definitely had a good time. Again, just like Google up Tony Statovci and also 98.1 Peugeot and Gritty. Okay? Cheers.